Last week, Core Keeper had a major update in which, among other things, the developers added a new, fully fledged RPG-style skill tree for bombs. If you know Core Keeper, you'll know that there are many ways to play this game. Whether you just like fighting enemies and slaying bosses, or prefer to explore the world and gather materials, if you like to farm crops and fish to cook and create powerful food items for yourself and your friends, there's a skill tree full of useful perks to reward almost every playstyle. Now, I did say almost, and one of the fringe exceptions to that statement was explosives. There's a variety of bombs in Core Keeper, many of which were added in this most recent update to expand the item class. They can deal very high damage to both enemies and blocks, although unfortunately using bombs was never a particularly great way of doing either of those things due to their timer, them being single-use consumables, and the fact that they are just as dangerous to the player as anything else. There is also a selection of ranged and magic weapons that additionally have the explosives damage class. These items also have their issues, or at least had, the magic items being solid weapons for combat, but not as good at breaking blocks for one reason or another, and the ranged weapons being very good at breaking blocks, but primarily having explosive damage and not enough of it to effectively fight enemies. They also all come with the very real possibility of blowing yourself up. While some games leave explosives and their issues to themselves, the Core Keeper team said, no, we have a system with the potential to make every kind of item and playstyle uniquely useful and rewarding, and we're gonna make sure that happens, damn it. There being a skill tree for this item class in itself is a huge buff, since skills correlated to damage-dealing items usually increase the damage of those items depending on how high a player's skill level is, in this case capping at a 50% damage boost for explosives at maximum level. The damage boost is great, but that's only the start of how the developers have gone about the full weaponization of bombs. The first few skills that can be unlocked improve the efficiency of explosives, starting with an increased explosive radius of up to 50%, up to a 30% chance not to use consumable explosives, and up to a 30% chance for consumable explosives to drop their components. So basically, you get more boom for your buck, and consumable bombs become way less resource intensive to continuously use, which is awesome. Up in the tier 3 skills, we can unlock explosion damage reduction of up to 80%, as well as mana regeneration and or a melee steroid upon detonating an explosive. Explosive damage reduction is an absolute godsend, and that'll make using explosives for anything so much easier. Cross-class combat skills are great too, especially since all you need to do to make use of the melee damage boost is to hit anything with one of the explosive weapons. You can even make use of both cross-class bonuses at the same time. Just blast something with an explosive magic staff, get your mana back, and then start smacking. For the highest tier upgrades, we've got pure explosive power, with bombs strengthening any burn damage inflicted on enemies, and the ability to spawn napalm from explosions. Napalm being these big fireballs that get left on the ground after a blast and set enemies on fire. So as a whole, all of these items have bigger and way deadlier booms. The consumable ones are much less resource heavy, these buffed weapons can be more effectively combined with other damage types, and a juiced up sulfur bomb will not instantly make you regret ever having placed it, which, I mean, that's a very specific and unfortunate situation to have found yourself in if you aren't nuking yourself for footage, but I'm sure it's happened to someone. The only sad thing about this skill tree is that, like all the other ones, you can't get all of the skills at one time, since you're maxed out at 25 skill points at skill level 100. That isn't a fault in itself. Completion within the skill trees isn't really the point of the system. It's more about picking and choosing what you like the most from each one and combining your favorite available attributes to develop your character. And that's great, but I do actually have one big problem with the explosive skill tree, and it's the location of composite armor, the damage reduction skill. See, the thing is, when you don't have this skill, and all bombs are dealing 50% more damage, you're basically putting yourself in mortal peril every single time you use one. Take a look here. This is a decently high-level character of mine with over 900 health. Mega Bomb, boom. Sulfur Bomb, boom. The new Void Bomb, boom. Even with some of the new grenade-type explosives, it just takes one foul throw and kaboom, you're dead. My favorite explosive item right now, the Bomb Scarab Mortar, is one of the best mining tools at this point in the game, and also actually now feels like a decent weapon after the buffs it received from the explosive skill tree being added. It also happens to be way easier to hit myself with than the consumable bombs, and without composite armor, kills me in 2 shots. So basically, what I'm getting at is that I think that composite armor is the only must-have ability here, and it just feels weird that it's all the way down in tier 3 and shoved off to the side like it is. If you absolutely prioritize it like I do, that means that you're forced to take both consumable bomb skills if you happen to want to go for an explosive and melee-focused approach, which forfeits both tier 4 skills and also wastes a lot of skill points if you don't make sure to use the consumables. It also means that you can't tech into both tier 4 skills without the entire item class becoming extremely dangerous to use at all, which is a shame since the napalm ability setting enemies on fire after explosions is the only way for most explosive weapons to synergize with the afterburn ability at all, since most of them don't burn enemies on their own. I guess you could just put a couple of points into each of the tier 4 abilities, but I mean, that's lame. Anyways, I would just like to see composite armor moved into the middle tier 3 slot or something so that I felt like there were more skill combinations to realistically go for without having to risk insta-killing myself with a bomb. Maybe it's a me thing though, and I'm overvaluing the ability because I suck at the game, but really, I think having more cool options available while having the privilege of not getting one-shot by my own weapon is a realistic enough desire, wouldn't you agree? Honestly, I'm just crashing out after getting blown up by my favorite mining item like 20 times. Anyways, that's my only criticism of the whole thing. The damage reduction skill should be more available, in my opinion, or the effect should just be passively gained while leveling up or something. That's my overview of the explosives skill tree, though. Yeah, I could have done it in a quarter of the time, but I really just love this new update as a whole and want to talk about it a lot. Seriously, this just feels awesome and unique like many things from the Core Keeper team. A lot of sandbox games have bombs. Not as many of them come with entire armor and accessory sets and skill trees focused around bombs, but the Core Keeper devs are out here continuing to make every aspect of their game fun and rewarding, and I'm here for it. I'll be making some more Core Keeper videos coming up about the rest of the update content and some other fun stuff, but for now, that's all. I'm out of here, and I will see you in the next one.